Police are investigating a viral video circulating on social media in our area. It appears to show a man pouring hot sauce onto his hand, then wiping it on a child's crying face. There's a caption that reads, quote, "Potty Training 101. We're not identifying the people involved because investigators are not sure a crime was actually committed. Choctaw police tell us they are investigating and are trying to determine where this video was shot. DHS told us they also investigate cases like this and that the video serves as a good reminder to call them if you ever see suspected abuse.